The story begins inside Black Hills, a maximum security prison in Russia, where brutal underground fights with no rules are held. These illegal tournaments are run by Gaga, a ruthless crime boss who profits by betting on his top fighters. His star champion, Vladimir Zykov, just proves his strength once again. Gaga, watching with satisfaction, hands money to his assistant for a meal while discussing Zykov's unmatched power with the prison warden. The moment is interrupted when the assistant drops the cash and an old crippled inmate mopping the floors notices. He calls out, and Gaga, amused, offers the money to him. The prisoner, however, rejects it with quiet disdain. This isn't just any old cleaner. It's Yuri Boyka, once a legendary fighter, now crippled by a severe knee injury from his last battle. Once feared across the world, Boya is now a hermit, broken by his circumstances. With 15 more years to serve, his latest request for early release was denied. Alone in his cell, Boya pushes himself to train again. With nothing but cleaning tools, he works to regain strength in his weakened leg, haunted by memories of his former glory. One day, Gaga visits him. He recalls how much money Boya earned for him and offers him better living conditions, even work in the prison library. But Boya turns it all down, only asking to fight again. Gaga shakes his head, believing Boya is far from ready. He's convinced Boya doesn't stand a chance against Zykov, especially in an international tournament. Soon, another violent match takes place, and Zykov crushes his opponent. Meanwhile, Boya watches in silence, studying his every move. That night, Boya pushes his injured leg harder than ever, knowing his time to fight again is near. He shaves his hair off, preparing for the tournament. The day arrives. Victory now means more than just being the champion of Black Hills. The winner will earn a chance at freedom. Boya won't let this opportunity slip away. He storms into the ring and challenges Zykov by throwing a bucket of water at him. The guards rush to stop him, but Gaga, confident Boya will be destroyed, allows the fight to happen. What follows shocks everyone. Boya, stronger and faster than anyone expected, demolishes Zykov in less than a minute. The once untouchable champion lies unconscious as the prisoners cheer, hailing Boya as their new king. Soon after, Boya is transported under heavy escort to the maximum security prison in Georgia, Gorgon, while the criminal patrons of the international tournament gather in a nearby luxury hotel. Among them is Gaga, still doubting Boya's chances. In the Georgian prison, Warden Kus lines up the new arrivals. Most stay quiet, but one fighter stands out. Turbo, an American who is bold enough to declare that he intends to win and leave the prison as a free man. As the inmates prepare, the powerful Georgian crime lord, Mr. Rizzo, hosts the visiting bosses at an extravagant dinner, welcoming them to his city. The next morning, the warden sets the rules. The fighters will be allowed 1 hour of training each day, but only after they've completed hard labor. Shackled and chained, they are led up to a stone quarry in the mountains. Turbo, still full of arrogance, refuses to keep quiet and argues with the guards about swinging the sledgehammer. "Damn it, me, Nfualmi," he mutters. "Shut your mouth and keep working," one of the guards snaps. Meanwhile, the Colombian fighter Raul enjoys special treatment, lounging in a chair while the others break rocks, leaving everyone puzzled as to why he's been spared. When Turbo notices Boya's cold, disapproving gaze, he immediately directs his anger toward him. But before a fight can break out, the guards step in, reminding them that fighting outside the ring won't be tolerated. "Stop right now," one of the guards warns. "You fight in the ring." Later, during training before the first official match, Turbo continues to provoke, but Boya remains calm and doesn't take the bait. While most of the new fighters train with intensity, Raul, the Colombian champion, takes a different approach. He saves his strength and relies on performance-enhancing drugs, secretly provided by his boss. With this unfair advantage, Raul dominates sparring sessions, tossing his opponents around with ease. Finally, the tournament's favorite, Raul, nicknamed Dolor, meaning pain, faces the agile North Korean fighter. Raul turns the fight into a cruel spectacle, punishing his opponent mercilessly. After the round ends, Warden Kuss arrives at the infirmary to check on the defeated fighters. He tells them coldly that their chance at freedom is over. Instead of being returned to their cells, the losers are taken away by guards and executed in secret. The tournament continues alongside grueling labor in the stone quarry. Turbo, having noticed Boya's weakness in the previous fight, mocks him by targeting his injured knee, taunting him relentlessly. Eventually, Boya snaps and lands a crushing punch to Turbo's jaw. Thrilled by the reaction, Turbo dives at him, eager for the fight. Both are punished for starting the altercation and thrown into the pit, a freezing, foul-smelling hole with thin air. Even there, Turbo continues to provoke Boya through the metal bars, trying to get under his skin. After a night in the pit, the bosses arrive to check on the fighters and discover that the inmates are being forced into harder labor at the quarry, something that wasn't agreed upon. Furious, Gaga and Fornady confront the warden, but he calmly directs them to Mr. Rizzo, who explains that the entire tournament is rigged. Rizzo has already placed his bets on Raul, the Colombian favorite, and advises them to stop fighting the system and place their bets on the same man. Back at the quarry, Boya and Turbo, still chained together, are forced to break rocks side by side. Turbo, itching for conflict, tries to provoke Boya again, but Boya calmly responds that they will fight in the ring, where it matters. The tension between them cools down after a night in the pit, and they start working together in rhythm, saving their energy. Despite Raul injecting himself with performance enhancers, Boya and Turbo's teamwork gradually turns into mutual respect. As they haul heavy stones, they realize that the tournament is fixed, and only Raul is meant to win. Boya also learns a darker truth. Survival in Gorgon depends on more than just victories in the ring. It's about staying alive beyond its walls. Even after enduring brutal labor, Boya refuses to stop training, and this time, Turbo joins him. Meanwhile, Gaga and Fernat continue to place their bets on Raul, unaware that Boya and Turbo are growing stronger. To protect Rizzo's guaranteed win, the warden orders both fighters to work without food. Instead of breaking them, the punishment only strengthens their resolve. On the quarry floor, they train harder than ever, doing push-ups, squats, and tossing heavy rocks in unison, stunning guards and prisoners alike. The relentless training takes a toll on Boya's knee injury, but Turbo offers a remedy: mountain flowers. The oil eases the pain, and Boya reluctantly accepts the help. The day of the semifinals arrives, and Boya faces the Brazilian fighter. Gaga, having already bet against Boya, hides his doubts and offers a token gesture of support. Boya fights fiercely, but the injury slows him down. Raul watches closely and sees the weakness in Boya's leg. Still, Boya endures, trapping the Brazilian in a crushing hold, forcing him to submit and securing his place in the final. Mr. Rizzo, concerned that Turbo might disrupt his plans, orders Warden Cuss to neutralize the American before his next fight. The guards carry out the order ruthlessly, beating Turbo nearly to death. When Boya finds Turbo battered in his cell, Turbo insists, through the pain, that he will still step into the ring. "Doctor, if I can give him the satisfaction," he says, determined to fight. Boya trains relentlessly, his focus unwavering when Raul approaches him from the shadows. The Colombian fighter, calm yet threatening, taunts Boya, revealing that he knows all about his past. Boya was once the king of prison fights, an unstoppable force in the ring. Before Raul leaves, he gives Boya a dark warning. His American friend, Turbo, won't be alive much longer. After finishing his training, Boya heads to check on Turbo. He finds his cell empty, but soon locates him at the heavy bag, exhausted, but still pushing through. It's clear that Turbo is worn out, and Boya realizes that his friend won't survive the next fight. Both men are quickly sent back to the stone quarry for hard labor. As they break rocks side by side, Boya watches Turbo's struggle with increasing concern. Even if it means losing, he'd rather return to prison in defeat than escape in shame. Just as they argue, the old water carrier, a quiet observer of the prisoner's fate, steps in. He tells them the truth. The defeated fighters never return to their cells. None of them ever make it out alive. This revelation hits them like a punch. Turbo, shaken by the truth, finally agrees to Boya's plan. When a guard steps away, the two prisoners seize the opportunity to break their chains, and chaos erupts. Guards rush in, and a violent brawl ensues. Boya takes down the attackers with ease. With the help of other prisoners, Turbo manages to climb the hill and escape into the woods. However, Boya is struck down by a rifle butt to the head and left unconscious as the rebellion collapses. Boya wakes up in his cell, groggy and disoriented, with his head still ringing from the blow. Leaning over him are Warden Cuss and Mr. Rizzo, who watch him coldly. Boya demands to see Gaga, and soon the crime boss appears. Gaga, detached and unbothered, informs Boya that he has already placed a new bet, this time on Raul, the man Boya must face in the final. "I'm with the money," Gaga says. "You just can't beat the Colombian." The day of the ultimate fight arrives. The referee signals the start, and the two fighters clash with fury. Every strike is blocked, every hold countered. The fight is brutal, with both men evenly matched. But in a violent exchange, Boya takes a clean shot to the jaw. Blood sprays from his mouth, along with his mouthguard, and his vision begins to blur. Images of Rizzo and his entourage taunt him in his fading mind. Fueled by rage and desperation, Boya pushes forward with renewed strength, desperate to bring the Colombian down. But Raul is prepared. He seizes Boya's injured leg, twisting the already damaged knee, and Boya screams in agony. As Boya writhes on the mat, Gaga and Fornati celebrate, certain that their money is secure. Boya, barely holding on to his strength, somehow escapes the painful hold, but his offense stalls. Raul rains down, blow after blow, showing no mercy. When Boya rises again, a crushing strike sends his broken body tumbling out of the ring. Raul raises his arms in victory as the referee begins the 10 count. On the floor, Boya's blurred vision catches the sight of a mop near the ring, sparking a flood of memories. Among them, Turbo's voice echoes, reminding him to improvise, adapt, and overcome. Summoning the last of his strength, Boya wraps his knee with a strip of cloth and forces himself to his feet at the count of 8. The crowd watches in stunned silence as Boya climbs back into the ring, ready to continue. The crowd roars for Raul, but as Boya stands and lands a crushing blow, the Colombian crumples to the canvas. The arena falls into silence as Boya's fists slam into his opponent. When Raul hits the mat again, the silence breaks into thunderous cheers for Boya, the fighter who refuses to stay down. Raul struggles to rise, his determination still burning. He targets Boya's injured knee once more, but this time, Boya is unbreakable. When Raul attacks, his leg buckles under Boya's strength, and the Colombian falls once more. The prison erupts as Boya reclaims his title as the undisputed king of prison fights. With the final fight over, Boya's reign as champion has ended the brutal prison tournament. But for Boya, the journey is far from over. He's just fought his way out of a brutal Russian prison, but the challenges that await him outside will test him in ways he's never imagined. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share who you thought would win this deadly showdown, and make sure you don't miss the next epic chapter in Boya's journey. Until then, stay ready for the next fight, because with Film Hidden Recap, the battle never ends.